The ship of the Catalan government set sail abroad today. This is how the Catalan foreign minister announced that 6 offices abroad have been reopened and several more are yet to come. Hello and welcome to Catalan News. One of the first measures after Spain imposed direct rule on Catalonia last October was shutting down all delegations abroad bar one. And today the government set off on the road to undo this. The only office which wasn't closed was the one in Brussels, although its head was fired by Madrid. His replacement was announced today, Meritxell Serret, one of the deposed ministers exiled in Belgium. In our show today, we take an in-depth look at this. We'll also find out about a relevant visit to one of the pro-independence leaders in a Madrid region jail. The Catalan president is visiting Washington this week. It'll be his first major official trip since taking office. He's expected to inaugurate a council to strengthen relationships between Catalonia and America. And he'll also take part in the Smithsonian Folklife Festival, where Catalonia is the guest of honour. Next week he'll be in Stuttgart and in July in New York. The current cabinet, like the previous one, is looking beyond the borders. More evidence of this came with a decision announced today.
Nearly 8 months have passed since all but one of the Catalan delegations abroad was shut down by the previous Spanish government. But from today, delegations are up and running again in France, Italy, Germany, Switzerland, the UK and the USA, as decided by the cabinet. But this is just the first phase. In the coming weeks, offices are set to open in Portugal, the Scandinavian countries and the Balkans, while more are set to become operational in regions like the Maghreb and Asia in a matter of months.
I en 6 mesos, doncs, en fi, seria important que donés una xifra, però en tot cas, òbviament ja seran més i bastantes més dels que havien sigut, dels que eren el 27 d'octubre quan van tancar aquestes.
The 3 main objectives of the delegations are representation, presence and influence, according to Meritxell. He also said that they will work to restore democracy in Catalonia and progress towards a Catalan republic. The deposed minister Meritxell Serret, who is seeking refuge in Brussels, has been chosen to head the delegation in the Belgian capital, the only one that has remained open. She is still wanted by the Spanish justice system, and the decision to appoint her was met with criticism by the Catalan socialists.
Y una persona que tiene su movilidad reducida, creemos que no es la mejor persona para desarrollar esa labor.
Serret was a member of the Carles Puigdemont cabinet, sacked by Spain after the declaration of independence. Both were in Brussels together before Puigdemont was arrested in Germany, where he now awaits a decision on his extradition. While the German prosecutor has called for the extradition of the deposed president, his lawyers are expected to request it be rejected before midnight. Although there is no deadline for the Schleswig court to make a final ruling, a decision is expected by mid-July. The German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, was asked about the situation in a press conference today. For her, Puigdemont's presence in the country is no cause for concern.
The reopening of the delegations is not the only news that brings us to Europe today. Ineffective, slow and expensive. That's how the European Court of Auditors called Spain's high-speed rail network today. This EU watchdog has found that nearly half of all European funding for high-speed trains across the Union went towards the Spanish AVE from 2000 to 2017. The cost for Spain's citizens is more than other countries. At €1,150 per taxpayer, it's twice that of France. But the high-speed AVE trains are carrying 4 times less passengers than its northern neighbour. And from Brussels, we now move to the Madrid region. 9 pro-independence leaders remain behind bars in 3 prisons there. Despite recent calls for them to be transferred, they are still 700 kilometres away from their families. Some of them have been locked up for more than 8 months. One of them is Jordi Cuixart, who today received a visit from Madrid and not from Catalonia as usual.
Pablo Iglesias today became the first Spanish party head to visit a Catalan leader in jail. The Podemos Secretary General met with Jordi Cuixart a day after sitting down with the Catalan President Quim Torra. On leaving the prison, Iglesias offered to mediate between the governments of Catalonia and Spain. He also said that all Democrats should demand freedom for the jailed leaders. Cuixart, president of a pro-independent civic organization, has been behind bars since October, shortly after the October 1st referendum. 8 more leaders continue in Spanish jails, with one of them, Joaquim Forn, today again asking for release. The prosecutor demanded he remain in custody, with the judge to decide in the coming days. The October the 1st vote is still shaping Catalan politics, evidence of which President Torra gave yesterday evening at the launch of his latest book.
Hem de crear un altre moment, hem de crear un altre 1 d'octubre, entenguin-se-me bé, en el sentit d'arribar a l'objectiu que alguns, jo en concret, volem arribar, que és la independència del meu país.
Torra's Spanish counterpart, Pedro Sánchez, has already asked him to turn the page on the referendum. The main unionist party, Ciutadans, thinks that the events promoted by the Catalan executive last autumn broke the social harmony in the Catalan society. That's why they have requested a plenary session to debate this issue.
Que es negada la ruptura de la convivencia por parte del gobierno de la Generalitat, probablemente porque el gobierno de la Generalitat solo mira a aquellos que llevan el lazo amarillo.
The single-issue debate will be held in mid-July. Also, at the request of the far-left CUP party, the chamber will, in the near future, vote on a motion to reaffirm a text approved in 2015, announcing the beginning of the path towards independence. As they did last time, Spain's courts might respond by trying to stop it.
Moving on, for all the fashion heads out there, we've got some good news for you. OAO Barcelona Fashion is back with its summer edition. And for the first time ever, it kicked off down at the beach, where models strutted their stuff, bathed in sunshine. The show hails the return of some familiar names and brands to the catwalk, but also boasts some top-level international models. And it will have a very special guest, Andre Leon Talley, the former editor of Vogue USA and a legend in the fashion world. OAO Barcelona runs until Friday, taking place in the iconic old Sant Pau Hospital. Barely a kilometre away from the Sant Pau modernist building is probably the greatest magnet for tourists in Catalonia, La Sagrada Familia. And today we learned that the famously unfinished church by Antoni Gaudí is not only one of the biggest sightseeing highlights in Catalonia, but also in Europe. How do we know? Well, La Sagrada Familia is the 9th most photographed landmark in Europe uploaded on Instagram, according to a report by City-Based Apartments. The first one in the ranking is the Eiffel Tower. 3 of the top 10 are in London, including the London Eye and Big Ben. Number 3 in the ranking is Disneyland Paris, 6 places ahead of the Catalan capital's monument. One very distinguished journalist and writer from Barcelona, Josep Maria Espinas, has had an event held in celebration of him in the very city he was born in. The world of culture in Catalonia paid tribute to the 91-year-old writer, including the culture minister, Laura Borràs. Josep Maria Espinas, a keen travel reporter and with dozens of books under his name, as well as many articles, said he's been working as a writer since he was 14. That's 77 years ago. In the 1950s, one of his books, Tots som iguals, was translated into English and gained some international recognition. Summer is here and many people are already flocking to the beach, but all is not well on one part of the Catalan coastline. On the Costa Brava, the otherworldly fan muscle is dying out because of a certain type of parasite. We got access to some underwater images that reveal an underwater wonderland under threat. Check them out and see you tomorrow.